nothing major. We don't see anything major, but overall, just a very good spring. A lot of progress and a lot more progress to go. But I'm sure there's some questions. I'm sure you guys will have.
What's impressed you about Luke? You saw him get the ball down the field today, strong arm.
He keeps his eyes down the field. He's very natural. I don't think he is phased in any way, shape, or form. I think he understands protections really well. Therefore, he can slide in and out of stuff. He feels it well, and he's not afraid to let it go. He understands what's being played behind that front. He understands where the holes are. He understands where he can't go with the ball. He made some really big plays today. He has about two he'd like to have back and held on to one a little bit longer than he wanted to. But a really good football player. You can push him hard. You can coach him hard. He was raised really well. He's a tough son of a gun. So really happy for him this week.
Malachi Tony, just the progressions he's made throughout the start of spring, and see what he was able to do out there today. Just what stood out to you most about him?
A lot of things. I mean, he's a mature. His maturity and preparation sticks out. So 5:30 to 1, he'll be out there catching some extra balls. If he makes a mistake, he's going to come in and watch the race and spend time with some of the veteran players. He's got time to go through. He has to get better at it. To push him hard, obviously. Comes from a family with really deep South Florida football bloodlines, athletic bloodlines, disciplined bloodlines, great culture at home, and he knows he has a ways to go, but he's had a great start this spring, and we are going to push him really hard this summer to make sure we maximize it. And again, really fired up on
Earlier in the spring game, offense had that 4-down drive, goal line stand by the defense. Just how do you evaluate that? Like, is that good by the defense? Is that some issues on the offense? How do you look at that and evaluate that?
As an offensive lineman, what do you think?
I'm sure you probably weren't very thrilled.
I want to projectile vomit like this way on the offensive side, but on the defensive side, I'll tell you two things. Number one, great job from a schematic standpoint, just finding a way to expose certain gaps and timing it up really well, and even more so, a couple guys just hunkering down, putting their feet in the ground and knocking the ball back. So you can't take away from that. I mean, we kind of needed that. We hadn't done a bunch of short yardage. We've done short yardage. We haven't done a bunch of goal line in the spring for reasons obvious. But overall that was a great job by the defense. So I'll hold my personal feelings aside.
So Mario, I saw players wearing Guardian caps, and knowing I've had my fair share of head injuries, I can appreciate it. Do you think that as the year goes on, that we can see a lot of these players wearing Guardian caps during the regular season, knowing it's in the best interest of the player and probably to be comfortable with them?
I think that's something, it's a question more for the medical side of college football in general. I think college football continues to move towards a place where players are protected more and that they can still play fast and physical. So, it's a question where I'm not qualified to answer what is best in the game, but I know whatever is best and keeps our players most safe, we're always going to find a way.
Mario, how would you assess the new defensive staff, their communication, the communication on the field with that Sunday football today?
Well, I think hopefully you saw guys get lined up, and I think our tackling has already improved. I think our physicality has gotten better. Communication is key in everything, right? And certainly, it was part of the biggest area to address. Alignments, assignments, and all that goes through communication. So, a ton of improvement, a ton more to go. It's not where Coach Hellerman wants it yet. Certainly, we made a lot of ground towards there. Again, we'll have a week to kind of get the bodies back, and we have some workouts, and then there's a lot of schools to take care of. But we're jumping as quick as we possibly can towards enhancing our program, our schemes, our development, our strength, our conditioning, and certainly our football.
What is next for Carson Beck as he recovers?
Well, the good part is as our player-led practices come up, he's going to be coach for all of them. So we'll have the opportunity to have about 16 of those before we even get in the fall camp. So not to mention growing on his own players. So there's a lot of opportunity coming up. And certainly took advantage of whatever he could mentally, the physical part that begins on Monday. So we're excited for that.
One other question I have about the Guardian caps, I know that's up to the medical people to make it. What have you learned about them so far, and what are your impressions of them?
Again, I think it looks like there might be positive things, but the data, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say what is low without taking a cohort with them, out of it. So I'd love to answer your question. Those just don't have
Answers are fair. That's all I can ask.
With Mario, with the depth at running back and defensive tackle. Pringle, Wheatley, Humphrey on that side of the ball, defensive tackle, Dante Simpson. Obviously, Ahmad Justice. Are they showing enough where you feel better about depth at those two spots? And just bodies who can help you off the bench?
I think so. I mean, you saw the elusiveness of Pringle. He's got really got a burst that's pretty elite. He got nicked up with sprints, so he missed some time. So he's got to make up for that time. I think this week Humphrey continues to grow, improve, get stronger. He's going to be a really good player. So we feel like we're gaining ground there. I don't think you ever feel comfortable with that. I mean, that can change so quickly, so you always want to add more, you want to develop more. So we'll see. We'll assess and go with it. And then on the defensive side, those guys have certainly gotten better. They are now 310 pounders that can move, that can bend, that can strike, that can get off blocks and make plays. They're becoming more physical. I think Damian Lewis and Jason Taylor have done a really good job. Coach Stroud, Todd Stroud, they've all done a really good job with those guys. And I think you combine that with Coach Mirabal and those guys going at it, it's a very much an iron sharp, it's an iron type of practice setting. So a lot of ground made. I would never come up here trying to fuck up the spring. We got a ways to go, but man, we progress so much. We're excited. We feel like every single spring we're getting better. And I feel the same way about this spring.
Mario, whether it's Luke or any other quarterbacks, I believe Luke threw one pick over the middle. Those throws, when you look back in the film, are they more beneficial from an education standpoint than maybe even some of the ones he's hitting wide open?
Say the throw.
Like it is the decision, yeah. Learn more from the decision.
Right. Well, they're trying to challenge that safety without getting in all the details on that particular play, and it's a snap decision. Either you have it or you don't. And you might not have it, but a good throw could make it happen. And I think he trusts himself enough, and he's gutsy enough to test the waters now, knowing that it could cost him playing time, but also knowing that it could also make a big play. We'll learn a lot watching film with him. We'll learn a lot with him, continue to take reps. But overall, from a decision-making standpoint, I think that one was dicey. I think I would have eaten that one or thrown it to the flat, lived to play another down. I think he might have been able to scramble instead of hold on to that ball late and get that illegal man downfield, illegal pass call, illegal forward pass call. But aside from that, I think he did some really good things.
Mario, I know.
Secondary, we talk so much about the new guys. I remember Marquise Williams. What did he show this ring specifically in the league and going through this?
He got bigger, he got stronger, he learned the system. These guys have been around here for years. One of the he's committed himself more, but he's a guy has a long ways to go also. What we're excited about is we think he can be a very good player. So I'm proud of him for just buying in and trying to do it. He's another guy, I don't want to say the same thing for all of them. We got to listen. We got to challenge them. We got the message.
All right, obviously, a big picture question, but I don't know if you've been able to follow what's been happening in Tennessee with their situation with their quarterback and that whole thing on a bigger picture in this age of kind of player empowerment, NIL, and everything. So, in the age of player empowerment, when you just have discussions with players, just how do you go about that when in the kind of back and forth with that?
I think you stay very much into the program and you make the decisions that are best for the program. Again, we mentioned the other day, I told you, everybody's in the portal. The portal's always open. They want to believe me. It's always open and everybody's in it. So it all depends on what you're willing to accept, or you're going to draw a line in your program. You got to realize something. Once you allow that to happen and you agree to it, we'll prepare for a line of 80 guys doing the same thing. So we're not going to do that at Miami. And I say that without any hesitation. If anyone's thinking that they could be the best player in the world, if they want to play holdout, they might as well play get out. We don't want Miami to become that. Too many guys have sweated, bled, have laid on the line on that field to ever become that kind of player.
So Mario, do you feel like when you're doing spring games, it's like going shopping, that you're trying to find depth somewhere along the way where another 5 or 2 or 3 until you're ultimately able to find out what you have to do?
So good as another practice.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Thanks.